Hello students, welcome to the video class for the subject Power Electronics and PLC. This subject is for 5th semester Electrical and Electronics Diploma Engineering students. So today's topic is thyristor commutation technique. Okay. So under thyristor commutation technique, we will study different types of commutation techniques by which we can turn off the SCR. So before we are going to the gist of this topic, let's begin from some of the basic concepts regarding this thyristor commutation process. Okay, so normally thyristor is a turn on by applying a positive gate signal to its gate cathode circuit. Already I told you uh, how the thyristor will turn on. Okay, so this is our thyristor. If this is your thyristor, see, this is the thyristor symbol. This is anode, this is cathode, and this is gate. Okay, so what happens when we want to turn on a thyristor or a SCR? We apply positive gate signal. Positive gate signal means gate is positive with respect to cathode, and initially what the thyristor is in, when we give a forward voltage, that means anode positive with respect to cathode, that means thyristor is in, this is in forward blocking state. So after applying gate signal to its gate cathode circuit, thyristor is turned on. That means anode current will flow from anode to cathode. Clear? So for the purpose of power control or power conditioning, a conducting thyristor must be turned off as desired. That means it is like a switch. When we want to close a path, we need to close the switch. When we want to open a circuit, then we need to open the switch. Okay, so by using these semiconductor devices, like here is your SCR or thyristor. By using thyristor, we can accomplish power control, power conditioning tasks. Okay, so for the purpose of power controlling, power conditioning, we need to turn on, turn off the thyristor at required moment or as desired. Okay, so the thyristor turn off means bringing this thyristor device from forward conducting state to forward blocking state. The thyristor turn off requires that what happens when we need to turn off a thyristor? It means um, reduce the anode current below its holding current. That means thyristor turn off means its anode current falls below holding current and reverse voltage is applied to thyristor for sufficient time to enable it to recover the blocking state. Okay, so thyristor turn off means see, when the thyristor is in conduction state, completely in conduction state, that means when anode positive, cathode negative, there is a positive gate signal, then anode current will flow through this device from anode to cathode, then there is no requirement of this gate. So we we may it is better to reduce it is better to remove this gate signal. So when the thyristor is in forward conduction state and when we want to turn off this thyristor, the turn off means we need to make the anode current below holding current. Okay, that means anode current should fall below holding current, and the reverse voltage is applied to thyristor. Reverse voltage means anode negative, cathode positive. Okay, so commutation is defined as the process of turning off a thyristor. Okay, process of turning off is your commutation technique. So once the thyristor starts conducting, gate loses its control over the device. Therefore external means may have to be adopted to commutate the thyristor. I already told you just before that the gate has no role after the thyristor gone to the forward conduction state. Gate loses its control. Okay, so that's why we need some external means, external circuitry, external techniques, so that we can commutate the thyristor. So there are several commutation techniques are there. So several commutation techniques are there. That means here we will study some of the commutation techniques. That means under the classification of commutation technique, we will study um, some types of commutation techniques like class A commutation technique, class B commutation technique, class C, class D, class E, and class F. What are these different types of commutation techniques? We will go through just after some time. Okay, so the use of thyristor circuit in low power converters has declined relatively. This is because of recent advancement of semiconductor devices. Okay, so the use of thyristor circuit in low power converter has reduced day by day, because in low power converter circuit because there is advancement of in the power semiconductor devices day by day. That's why in low power converters we can use various advanced semiconductor devices. So what are those various advanced semiconductor devices? They are your power BJT, power MOSFET, GTO, IGBTs, etc. Okay, so for high voltage and high current applications, which is above 1 kilovolt and 0.5 kiloampere, the thyristor circuit offer popular circuit configuration. Okay, so in recent days for high voltage and high current applications, thyristor circuit configuration are used rather than the low power configuration circuits. Okay, so the classification of thyristor commutation technique, which we are discussed after some time, those are actually the thyristor commutation techniques. What are these on what basis these thyristor commutation techniques are comes? Okay, so the basis is the thyristor commutation technique use resonant LC and underdamped RLC circuits. So what are these resonant LC and underdamped RLC circuits? For you, what are the use of these resonant LC and underdamped RLC circuits? See, by using these resonant LC and underdamped RLC circuit, it can force the current or the voltage, or current or voltage both. Okay, so it can force the current and or voltage of a thyristor to zero to turn off the device. Okay, so several power electronics converter employ the circuit configuration used for describing the thyristor commutation circuits. So the study of various commutation techniques serves as an introduction and leads to a better understanding of the transient phenomena occurring in the power electronic converter under switching condition. So by studying these commutation technique, we can analyze what are the transient phenomena occurring during the switching conditions of these power electronics converters. That means power electronic converter means what? And in these converter circuit configuration, we are mainly using thyristor semiconductor device. So by switching this thyristor from on state to off state, then off state to on state, so what are the transient conditions are there, we can study, but we can analyze these transient conditions by studying these various commutation techniques. Okay, so what are the various commutation techniques are there? I already told you. See, I already told you class A type, class B type, class C type, class D type, class E type, and class F type. So these different class A, B, C, D, E, F are also named by class A type is named as load commutation. Class B, C, D are coming under the force commutation process. Then class E commutation comes under external pulse commutation. Then class F commutation comes under line commutation. So what are these different types of commutation? We will go through these one by one. So first we will study about the line commutation or class F commutation. So what is this line commutation or class F commutation? Okay, see the circuit diagram here and the waveform. Okay, so this type of commutation known as line commutation, or it is also known as natural commutation. Why it is called natural commutation? Okay, because this method of commutation is applied to phase controlled converters. Applied to the phase control converters, line commutated inverters, AC voltage controllers, step down cycloconverters. So these are the different applications of this class F type commutation or natural commutation or line commutation. So what happens under this natural commutation? Let's see. Here, see here the one circuit diagram is here. That is the, you can say it half wave rectifier diagram. Rectifier, that means rectifier means which convert AC to DC. AC to DC. Okay, this is the this is the single phase half wave controlled rectifier. Okay, why it is called controlled? Because here we are using thyristor as a semiconductor device, and thyristor is a control device. But in analog chapter, analog subject, you already studied in the half wave rectifier circuit, you are using diode. Diode is a uncontrolled device, but here thyristor is used, that's why it is called a controlled. Okay, this is a phase controlled converter circuit. Okay, so this is the single phase supply is connected to the load through this semiconductor switch, power semiconductor device. Here the device is your thyristor T. Okay, so voltage across the thyristor represented as Vt. R is here the load, and across this load voltage is V0. Current through the load is I0. Okay, Vs is equal to Vm sin omega t. This is the supply. So this is the supply waveform drawn here. This part is the supply waveform Vs. Okay, in the Vs is equal to Vm sin omega t. Here Vm represents what? Represents your amplitude of the source voltage waveform. So this maximum peak is the, here this is the Vm value. Okay, this maximum amplitude here is the Vm. So the next waveform is the V0 I0 waveform, and the last one is the voltage across thyristor waveform. See, mainly in your power electronics subject, whatever converter circuits you have studied or you will study in future, here we mainly justify all the theory through the waveforms. Okay, and sometimes there are some mathematical expressions are there to justify the waveform. Okay, so mainly we focus on waveforms. Okay, so see what happens when thyristor is turned on. The thyristor carrying the load current from source to load. That means when we give a positive supply, The thyristor is in what? Forward blocking state. But when we give the gate signal to the thyristor, then thyristor is in forward conduction state. So forward conduction state means the thyristor is in on state. Once the thyristor is in on state, the source is connected to the load through this switch. Okay. So when we give a positive signal, this is the positive signal, this is positive half cycle, then there is a formation of the load current and load voltage. So this is the waveform of load voltage V0, because whatever the source that is totally applied across the load, that's why this is the V0 waveform. And also according to that, I0 waveform is also there, because current will flow, load current will flow through, output current will flow through the R load, that's why I0 is there. V0 I0 both have different magnitude. Yeah, why? Because see, V0 is the output voltage, but I0 is equal to what? I0 is equal to, you can write I0 is equal to V0 divided by R. That's why the magnitude of V0 and I0 are different. Okay. See, in this topic, actually what happens, how the thyristor will turn on and turn off. Thyristor will turn on by applying gate pulse, and it can turn off through this supply, through the source wave. How? When the source is in positive half cycle, the thyristor is in forward bias mode, and then when we give gate signal, it is turned on. But when the supply is in negative half cycle, then the thyristor across the voltage across the thyristor is reverse biased. So once the voltage across the thyristor is reverse biased, your anode current falls below the holding current, and for some time voltage is maintained as a reverse bias mode, and the thyristor remain in off state. So here the commutation process occur naturally through the source waveform. That's why this commutation is named as line commutation or natural commutation. I will give the detailed description of this line commutation in whiteboard mode. Okay. So let's go to the description part. Class F, or you can say natural, or you can say line commutation. So under this commutation technique, we will take one example of your phase control converter. Okay, phase what happened in this phase control converter, let's see. So there are different some more applications of this class F commutation or natural commutations are, I already told you, line commutated inverter, AC voltage controller, step down cyclo converter, and this is the phase control converter. I will give the description of this line commutation process by using phase control converter. Okay, this is the supply Vs, this is thyristor T, this is load R, this is output voltage, load voltage, this is current I0. Okay, so voltage across thyristor is Vt. Here Vs is equal to Vm sine omega t. So let's draw the waveform first. Okay, this is Vs, this is V0 I0, this is Vt. So here the how here the commutation process happened. See, when I give a positive signal, thyristor is in forward biased mode. So when I give gate signal to this thyristor, then this switch is closed. This switch is closed means current can flow from source to load. So if current will flow from source to load, there will exist V0. So that's why this is your 0 pi 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi. This is omega t axis. Okay. So 0 to pi is the positive half cycle. So up to this much, 0 to pi, thyristor is turned on. That's why the V0 and I0 waveforms are there. Okay, this is the this is for V0 and this is for I0. Okay. So, but when how the thyristor is off here? Thyristor is turned off. So when there is a, after pi angle, when there is a negative half cycle, so this negative half cycle source voltage act as a reverse voltage for this thyristor. So when reverse voltage applied across thyristor, then the thyristor behaves like a thyristor is in for reverse blocking mode. So that's why here the thyristor is now in off state. So once the thyristor is in off state, this is here it is a open switch, so no connection between source to load. That's why no current flow from source to load. So that's why from 0 to pi negative half cycle is there. So 0 to pi there is no output. This is totally zero output. Okay. Then again there is when positive half cycle attained, then again thyristor is turned on when gate signal is given, then again current will flow, then V0 appear, I0 appear. Okay, and then again for negative half cycle thyristor is in off state. Clear? Here the magnitude or amplitude is Vm. Okay, so this is the all about process of the phase controlled converter. This is the single phase controlled rectifier which convert AC to DC. Okay, so here we may not get the pure DC, but we get here the so here the thyristor carrying the load current is reverse biased by the AC source voltage, and the device is turned off when the anode current falls below the holding current, or you can say nearly zero. Okay, so when there is a negative half cycle comes in the source side, then the reverse voltage applied across the thyristor. When reverse voltage applied across the thyristor, then current through the thyristor falls below. When the current below anode current across the thyristor falls below the holding current, or you can say nearly zero, then the device is in off state. So this is the natural commutation process. Here we need not to use any kind of external circuit configuration. Okay, so a single phase half wave control converter, this is single phase half wave control converter, is used to employ the line commutation process. Okay, so here thyristor T is fired at firing angle equals to 0. See, we can give different thyristor gate pulses at different angle, like 30 degree, 15 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree. But here we assume that the firing angle is equal to 0. So what is this firing angle? We will study in the control rectifier part. Okay, so for now you just remember that the gate pulse or the firing angle is equal to 0. So if the firing angle is equal to 0, that means it that means here this omega t alpha is also, you can take it, omega t is equal to 0. Okay, so when the firing angle is equal to 0, so it behaves like a diode. Okay, because diode is also a semiconductor device which can turn on and turn off without the gate pulse. So if this device turn on at 0 degree angle, then this behaves like a diode. Okay, so with when this firing angle, when omega t is equal to 0 degree, at this point we give the gate pulse. So at this point Vs is equal to what? 0. So at omega t is equal to 0 degree, Vs is equal to 0. Okay. So the here the load is in resistive in nature. So with 0 degree firing delay angle, the thyristor behaves like a diode. So during positive half cycle, that means from this to this, positive half cycle means 0 to pi. Okay, omega t is your 0 to pi. So here V0 is equal to Vs. This is V0 is equal to Vs. And the wave of the load current I0, this is the wave of the I0, which is identical with the wave shape of V0 due to the resistive load. Okay, so I0 is identical with the V0 waveform due to this resistive load. So at omega t equal to pi, Vs is 0. See, at this point Vs is 0. Again from 0 to pi, whatever Vs, that is exactly happening at V0 waveform. So at pi, now when omega t equal to pi, V0 is equal to 0. Okay. Why V0 is equal to 0 at omega t equal to pi? Because here Vs is equal to 0. See, here Vs 0, so V0 0. Here Vs 0, V0 0. And from 0 to pi, there is this waveform pattern comes across the load. V0 is equal to, we can write Vs at pi. This is Vs is 0, so V0 is also 0. If V0 0, then I0 is also 0. Therefore T gets turned off at this instant. From this instant T will turn off, thyristor will turn off. Okay, from omega t equal to pi to 2 pi, this is, so from omega t equal to pi to 2 pi, T is thyristor is reverse biased for a period of, this is 2 pi minus pi is equal to what? Pi. So the period is here pi. Okay, this axis is omega t. So you can write omega t equal to pi. Yes, I can here represent T as Tc. Omega Tc is equal to pi. If omega Tc is equal to pi, then Tc is equal to what? Pi by omega second. This Tc represents thyristor turn off time. Or you can write it is TQ. You can represent, better you can represent as TQ. Okay, TQ represent thyristor turn off time, whereas TC represent circuit turn off time. Turn off. Okay. So from omega t equal to pi to 2 pi, T is reverse biased for the period of, this is pi by omega second, which longer than the thyristor turn off time TQ. Okay. So this is the circuit turn off time, this part, because from this angle to this angle this whole circuit is off because the switch is off, but the thyristor turn off time, this is the TQ. Okay, so mainly this timing represents the circuit turn off time, so better we can say it as a, this is circuit turn off time TC. Okay, this time is the TC. From this to this is the overall circuit turn off time, and the thyristor turn off time is taken as TQ. See, because when from this instant omega t equal to pi, when Vs is 0, then from this angle to this, the voltage across the thyristor is what? Reverse bias. That means when voltage is 0 and then when voltage across thyristor is reverse bias, then here anode current falls below the holding current. So once anode current falls below the holding current, there is no flow of current through the thyristor. That means once there is no flow of current, that means the thyristor is in forward is in reverse blocking state. So thyristor will be in reverse blocking state within a very few time, but we need to maintain that off time for some more time, because we need to maintain the reverse voltage across the thyristor for some more time greater than tq. Okay, tq is the thyristor turn of time, and whatever time we take to maintain the reverse voltage across the thyristor, that is the tc, that is the circuit turn of time. Why? Because I already told you in the switching characteristics of thyristor that after turning off the thyristor, there is some favorable charges present in the layers of the thyristor. So due to that favorable charges, thyristor may turn on for some more time. Okay, even if it is in reverse blocking mode, even if there is even if the current is below holding current, thyristor is favorable to conduct the charge. Okay, due to the presence of excess charge carriers. Okay, favorable charge carriers. That's why we need to maintain this reverse voltage for some more time, so that it can recover or it can recombine all the favorable charges, and then the thyristor is completely turned off. Okay, so this pi to 2 pi, this represent the circuit turn of time, and within this thyristor turn of time is comes. Okay, so understood clearly about this. What happens in the line commutation method? When we give a positive supply, there is a load voltage, there is a load current. When we give negative supply, the thyristor is off, naturally off. That's why output voltage, there is no load voltage, there is no load current, that means 0. Again, when 2 pi to 3 pi, there is a positive supply, then also then now V0 and I0 waveforms are there. And when 3 pi to 4 pi, it is a reverse bias mode, negative half cycle reverse bias mode for thyristor. That's why there is no load current and no load voltage. Okay, so then next come to this part. What is this? Voltage across thyristor. See, voltage across thyristor means what? This is okay. So when thyristor is in turn on mode, is in on state, so voltage drop across the thyristor is very minimum. So if we take ideal case of thyristor, then voltage drop across the device is 0 during turn on mode. Okay, for ideal device. But in practical case, there is a voltage drop of 1.5 to 2 volt or 3 volt, I already told you. But for ideal case, there is 0 voltage drop across the device when the device is in turn on mode. Okay, so when the device is in off state, or when the device is in turn off or the blocking state, that means it will block the voltage. There is a maximum voltage blocking voltage across the device. So how much voltage it will block across it during the reverse half cycle? So whatever supply is given, that amount of voltage is blocked by the device. That means whatever is the supply, this waveform comes here. Its magnitude is minus Vm. Okay. So again, when 2 pi to 3 pi, there is a positive half cycle. There is 0 voltage drop. Again, 3 pi to 4 pi, reverse bias mode of thyristor. That means it is in reverse blocking state. That means it will block the whole source voltage. This is the blocking voltage. Okay. So this is the waveform for voltage across thyristor. Clearly understood about the line commutation or natural commutation.
And next class, later on, we will study other different techniques of commutation. Okay, thank you.